I just flipped close the very last page of The Root of Darkness by Demi Winters, technically book 2.5 in the Ashen series, and I'm about to embark on the journey that is book 3, The Dawn of North. NetGalley gave me the opportunity to be an ARC reader, so I'm so excited to read it. I'm so excited. So I'm going to take you along with me on this vlog style reading journey / review. So I'm so excited. I'm so pumped. But we're gonna wait, pause real quick. So before I get into the official vlogging and review of this book, I wanted to tantalize your little taste buds just a smidge, just a little bit. But then I'll also pause. This is the 3rd book in this Viking-inspired romantasy. So with that being said, all I'm doing here is reading the summary of the 3rd book. I don't really think it spoils anything if you haven't read the other 2. I don't think it really does. But if you don't want to know any information that could potentially happen later in books to books you haven't read yet, then maybe this would be a good time to pause and go back and catch up. And I promise you, oh, it's so worth it. It's so good. It's so good. I immediately read the first one and got the second one like that. So I promise you, yes. Okay, so now back to the tantalizing of the taste buds with a little summary of the 3rd book. Promise you, again, this isn't any spoilers. This is the little book blurb that Demi has posted on Amazon for your reading perusal pleasure before the book is actually released in February of 2026. So, a new age begins in the kingdom of Isildur in the sizzling 3rd installment of the Viking-inspired Romantasy, the Ashen Series. The lost Volscic heir has finally returned to the people of Isildur, and even with the warrior who's captured heart standing by her side, Scylla's task is monumental. She must earn the loyalty of the Northern Jarls to drive Ivar Ironheart from the throne and restore peace to the kingdom. But the secret she guards threatens to ruin all her plans. A shard of a god lives in her mind, twisting her thoughts and deeds to his will. Meanwhile, held captive on the mysterious Isles of Zagatka, Saja Volscic fights to return to her sister in Isildur. But when King Ivar sets his sights on the Zadakians, she's forced to make an impossible choice. Fight for the man who stole her and is now hell-bent on marrying her, or let the innocent people of his kingdom die. As a poisonous mist threatens the realm, the sisters will delve into the unknowns of their magic to battle against evil. Return to the land of ice and fire, where a god awakens, a queen finds her power, and sisters must unite against the darkness threatening the realm. Let's go. So now we, and by we I mean I, but sharing this with you, are off to read page 1 of book 3 of the Ashen series, Dawn of North by Demi Winters. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you, to see me see you see my reaction to the book for the first time. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good.
So I am currently laying on my hallway floor. That's how I'm reading, but I'm also reading it on my phone, so I don't have anything to show you. But reading while my son is taking a bath. And I am about 35 pages in, and it's going great. I kid you not, I was so excited to be an ARC reader, but there's also a very big part of me that doesn't want to pull a Tom Holland and spoil anything. So I know I'm gonna be vague because I really don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk spoiling it because I would hate myself, and then you would hate me, and it would just be a big circle of hate. And I don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm really enjoying it so far, as much as you can enjoy it 35 pages in.
The gasp I gasped when I read, I think it was the beginning of chapter 7, I was like, Anyway, suffice it to say, me was surprised. Not in a good or bad way, just like as a reader, it was super enjoyable. So props to you, Demi. I am on page 91. That's where I ended last night, so I'm about to pick up again. I like the direction of the characters. I like how the plot is going. I think sometimes when you get into like a third book, it can kind of like get a little slumpy, especially in like a long series. So far I don't really think it's going to, but again, I'm only 91 pages in, so we'll see. So I'm about 200 pages in and I'm loving it. I love that you're having all the different perspectives in filling in the story from, you know, Cass and Saja and Scylla and Ray, and then you have Hekla's point of view in there. I love all the different point of views and how they've come together and how they were introduced over the last few books and how you're all kind of seeing them come to a head in this book. But yeah, I'm really liking it so far. It's still like I will start to like get into a section and I'll be reading it, and then you get to the end of the chapter and it switches to like a different perspective and takes the story to somewhere else, and I'm like, no, I have to know what happens. No, I'm not ready to read about this. And then you get into that and then it switches, and it's just, I like it as a reader. I love it and I hate it. I like it as a reader because it keeps you on your toes and it keeps you engaged in the story, and then you realize that all parts of the story are good. So I love it and I hate it. Also, I think it is doing a really good job giving you enough of that romance mixed in with such a solid plot. Sometimes I feel like stories, especially when they are like a series, like this is going to be 5 books, I believe. Sometimes I think the romance can get convoluted, or there can be too much focus on it, or it just like, I don't know, congeals. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but I really like the pacing and how she's like evolving the characters and how they're arcing. So far, there have been a couple things that have surprised me that I don't know that I was expecting in a good way. And I still feel like with this, I'm like trying to guess on how she's gonna take the story. And honestly, I'm pleasantly surprised because it hasn't necessarily been what I've expected it was gonna happen. But I like that. And I like the direction she's going. So 200 pages in, so far so good.
So I am heading into the final part of the story. I have to say, I'm not done with it, but I think Saja and Cass's storyline is probably my favorite. I honestly would love just a whole book about them. I think out of the whole book, that was the part of the story that I wanted to read the most. Granted, all the other parts are good. Like, I think the story is good overall. But those were the parts where I'm like, no, don't change it. So we're getting to the end, and I already know I'm gonna be sad because I'm down to less than 100 pages left. And I know I'm gonna be sad when I finish it, and I'm gonna be really sad that I can't just flip to book 4 because I'm like, I wanna know. Like, I wanna know what happens with Saja and Cass. Like, I wanna know what happens to all of them, but I'm like, what's gonna happen?
Okay, so I finished Dawn of North. And I have thoughts. I need to organize them, and then I can actually be a little bit more cohesive, but I don't know if I was expecting the ending or not. I don't know. I need to organize my thoughts. It was good. Like, this isn't like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh, so bad. Like, I don't know. I need to organize my thoughts. Okay, I've had time to gather my thoughts on A Dawn of North. And I will say, I love the book. I thought it married the last 2.5 books with this very well. I love seeing all the storylines come together. I think my only critique in it is I think some of it, I didn't love the timeline of some of it. I thought some of the pacing was a little strange, but it wasn't enough to like ruin the overall experience. I will say that's probably my biggest critique. I will also say I could have a whole novel with just Cass and Saja. Just a whole novel. Like, it doesn't even have to be a whole novel. It could be a novella. Like, I would love a novella with just those two, like she did with Hecla. So I think overall I really, 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 really enjoyed it. And I'm a little sad that I arc read it, only because now I'm like, oh, I had to wait till book 4. But overall, really left off with the book feeling good. I don't know that I saw the ending the way you did. I'm like, oh, okay. I will say there was an interaction with characters and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I could have done without this. But again, overall, really, really enjoyed the book. Would highly recommend the Ashen series to anyone. I think it's a really enjoyable series. You can get as into the weeds with like Viking, Iceland, all of that if you want to. But I also think it's just very enjoyable to read it. So I would highly recommend, and yeah. Happy reading.